institutions and companies and structures of every kind today ask one basic question of themselves. Who are we? What are we about? Why are we? And as an answer to these questions, they place before themselves one other question. And so, what is our mission statement? Because that packs in it who we are, what we are, and why we are. Sisters and brothers, there is one thing that unites all the churches in the world, be they Catholic or Protestant or Greek Orthodox or a church of any denomination. It is this: their mission. And if you ask me what the mission is, welcome to the gospel of the day. The Lord is so very direct. The message is so very bold. It couldn't be clearer than that. Go and make disciples. And so all of us are called to make disciples. As a church, we are into the task, into the business, into this deal of making disciples for the Lord. As we have much going on during this liturgy, I'll just give you 5 bullet points for your consideration. A disciple is one who feels and checks out the surroundings. What do I mean? Think of the time when you were sitting on that easy chair, an aged grandpa or grandma rocking back and forth. And as you are about to reach out for that newspaper, your grandchild comes running along, climbs onto your lap and plays with you. And you forget the rest of the world, and there you are with your joy of your heart, the delight of your heart, your grandchild. And as that exchange goes on, how much they enjoy each other's company, there comes a moment when the grandchild turns to you and says, "Grandpa, what is God like?" That is the moment for you to introduce that child to Christ. That is the time when you are called to become a disciple who makes disciple. And opportunities like this will come knocking at our door all the time, whatever it be the way of life that you are called to. And so, remember, you are a disciple who needs to check out the surroundings for an opportunity to break the word, to bring the good news, to bring a little healing to someone, and thereby lead them to Christ. Number 2, a disciple is one who enters into the waters. Now, if you are to talk about Christ, if you are to share an experience of God with your grandchild, or with your friend, or with your colleague, how could you do it? How will you be able to do it if you don't have an experience of God? If you don't have a knowledge of God? Unless you taste, you can't tell. Unless you experience, you can't express. In philosophy, we say, as a being, so it acts. Or as a mother, unless there is in the vessel, you can't dish out. So, are you a disciple who has tested the waters? Do you have a one-on-one with Jesus? Do you know Him? Not know about Him. Do you know Him firsthand? A personal Jesus. an intimate Jesus, a Jesus that you know as your spouse, as a brother, as a friend, as someone that you can lean on to. The third point. A disciple is one who takes a deep dive. It's an invitation to every disciple to engage, to be connected, to be immersed. When you go home, do you read the scriptures? When it is evening, do you get together for the Rosary? It is the month of May. Do you say your night prayers? Do you say your grace before meals? Forget after meals. And as you come for the Eucharist, do you engage yourself prior to it? Do you check out the readings? Do you know what the day is about? That's taking the deep dive. If you are a disciple, you need to immerse yourself. You need to engage yourself. You need to lose yourself in God. That's what I mean when I say that you need to take the deep dive. The fourth point. A disciple is one who rides the rapid. It's all water theme today. Life is so unpredictable. You go for your routine checkup. And the doctor falls silent, looking at the scan. And he says, "Go home. I'll get back to you." And you wait for that call. And when that call comes with the diagnosis, how do you respond? That is riding the rapid. Being with the Lord, even when life gets difficult, when the going gets tough, the tough get closer to the Lord. Or you get ready to go home for the weekend from the office, and your manager says, "Hey, can I chat with you a little?" And then he tells you, "You've been such a good employee. You've always done your job well, and I have no complaints, and yet I hate to say this to you. We are downsizing, and there you learn that you are let go." How do you ride that rapid? Your loved one dies. How do you respond to that event? It takes walking the path of discipleship to be able to ride that rapid. And the last point. A disciple is one who goes fishing. Recently, I came across a little poem. It goes something like this: "I stand at the door, not too far in, not too far out. That door is the most important in the world. For people that want to find God, come through that door." And immediately I thought of Adrian. I thought of Ed Casey. I thought of John Wynne. I thought of Howard. And I thought of our new greeters at the door. How they stand there and receive people. How they have transformed themselves into fishers of women and men for the Lord. I also thought of those that carry communion to the sick. Those that come together and discuss how we could add life to our liturgy and meaning to the way we exercise our faith. Sisters and brothers, going fishing means all of this. That every member in our parish becomes a minister who will in turn go out and bring people to minister for the Lord. And so, remember, a disciple is one who learns the Lord, who gets to know the Lord firsthand, not simply quoting a quote that was quoted to somebody else. But have you heard the voice of God? Have you leaned onto his chest like John the Apostle? Can you say, "I have seen the Lord"? That's a disciple who checks out the surroundings, who enters the waters, who gets engaged, who takes a deep dive, dwells in scriptures, spends time in prayer, participates in the Eucharist on a regular basis, and also exercises stewardship of time, treasure, and all that. And finally, a disciple is one who goes fishing, who sets himself as a bridge for people to cross over and come to Christ, and then joyfully collapses, inviting them to become bridges themselves, inviting still others to come to Christ. To conclude, go and make disciples. That's a command to all of us, not just to priests and deacons, the religious and the nuns. It's to every baptized person. That call comes even to little Genevieve as she is baptized today. And in order for her to go and make disciples, she needs to become a disciple herself. We need to grow deeper in order that we can grow our church, the kingdom of God, wider. That's who we are. And look at the word go. Get moving. Get going. Do something. Get engaged. There is a sense of urgency. That's what you find in the Gospel according to St. Mark. And make disciples of all nations. And so every situation that presents itself to you is an opportunity, a God-given grace for you to make disciples. And that is when you exercise your Christianship, if I may say so. Never heard that word before. But that's what it means to be a Christian, to be another Christ, to make disciple of all people, of all the nations. If you and I are not making disciples, then what on earth are we doing here? And so, go, make disciples. I pray for the day when you and I will be known as a parish of disciples making disciples. In fact, every church needs to be a church of disciples making disciples. And every family needs to become a family of disciples making disciples. Parents, make disciples of your children. Spouses, make disciples of your spouse, of your significant other. For that's who we are, that's what we do, and that is why we are. Disciples making disciples. To conclude, this time I'm really concluding. I asked you to watch out for how the first reading opened. It should have been proclaimed as the beginning of the Acts of the Apostles. And the gospel ended as the conclusion of the gospel according to St. Matthew. Where Christ's work ends, your work and mine begins. Where the Gospel of Matthew concludes, the Acts of the Apostles picks up the baton and runs towards the finishing line. That's what this day is about, the feast we celebrate. Christ is not around. We become other Christs. And so we become a parish of disciples making disciples.